morning for me and my beautiful daughter on day 47. Obviously we're coming this morning later, it's 8:30. Morning Go, how are you? So we're here sort of checking in. Obviously not a great deal changed from last night obviously, but today what they're going to be doing is finishing off pouring the columns and pouring the concrete down the actual balls of the wall. Technically turn into columns. So they've got to do that all the way around, and then today at some stage they're going to try, as far as I'm aware, to start mapping out the whole floor. So that's the main aim today. The weather looks pretty good, slightly misty but very hot. The sun is always up in the sky looking beautiful. They started the actual walls themselves here, so they're on about moving the temporary electrics. In fact, let me turn you around. So the temporary electrics we've had put in for the site themselves had to be put somewhere, so they were put on the line, which is connected obviously up to the telegraph pole. Well, that's got to move, and they're thinking about putting it over here somewhere, and then they can continue that wall all the way down past here to the very end. Also means the water needs to be moved as well, so all the services technically come in here, the water comes in here, power comes in through here, but we do need to move one. So fingers crossed they'll carry on that through. The wall itself is looking pretty good. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are so far. So they'll be finishing off that one today, they'll be finishing off that one over there today, and they'll be trying to finish this one off here today as well. So lots of work that goes in, but not a lot of movement. Good morning, how are you? You alright? Good, good. So yeah, you basically can't see a lot of the work happening, because obviously they're making concrete and pouring it straight down, so no real great change, but lots of work goes into making sure these walls here are solid. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are so far. So I'll catch up with the site manager and find out what his plans are. A lot of wind, 5 o'clock, just returned. Okay, so we have the slab has now been prepared. Walls are higher, walls are boxed in. Let's have a quick look. Okay, so now you're starting to see it now, you're actually on the slab itself. So the walls have actually gone a little bit higher. Obviously this is inside height, not road height. Obviously you can see road there, look. So the walls themselves are obviously lower with regards to the other side, but they've got to go up a little bit more. But the actual centre columns have been concreted, and then they'll box and go up higher. The slab itself has now been emptied. This is now going to get set out tomorrow. They started boxing up the wall at the back, again to do the concrete sides, etc. That will need to be finished off tomorrow as well. Swimming pool slab is now cleared. We now need to work out what we're going to do with the levels, height there wise, and obviously the testing and height there wise as well. So again, that's going to need to be filled and compacted, and so is over there. Batter boards obviously were put in the other week, so they just need to be finished off and lines pulled over to this side here, again where those ones are. That one needs to be finished off. This one's already in still, I need to measure. That one's good. That one's had the front post broken off, as has this one. So they need to be redone. So does that corner, so does that corner. They've still got to move the temporary electrics over at the back, over to where the telegraph pole is, so they can actually continue that wall along. But again, the wall itself has had extra height put on it today, as you can see, by the dark mortar. So that's got to be finished off as well. So that technically is so that we've actually got a 1550 height wall at this end. So the actual complex itself from here goes downwards. So to keep that wall straight, let's say that it's 5 foot at that end. By the time you actually get down to that end, then we're going to be 6-7 foot. So that's the reason why that wall is so high at the back compared to the wall that it's actually butting up against, which is next doors. So as you can see, we're currently about 2 foot higher than his wall. And that's mainly because obviously we need to make sure when we're looking at the house itself, we're looking at a dead straight flush wall, but at that end it will be shorter than it will be this end here. So this end here would be exactly the same. That's probably going to be, I would say, 5 foot that end, but again the road dips down that way, so the wall will be higher at that end than it will be at this end. So the big boss leaning up against the car, look. Filming with it. So anyway, looking a lot better. So still work to be done. But again, there's so much more movement going on in the last 2 weeks than we did in the first 6. So this is the main thing for me, is to try and get this main slab finished off. Tomorrow we're going to start setting out, digging out, putting a DPM down, mapping out all where the columns are going to be, because there's big central columns going through the middle to hold the middle floor up. As you can see from the slab itself, it is a wide floor, so we're probably 40 foot wide, about 80 foot long. So, and that's got to be held up. And technically, where the wall is pretty much where the first floor is going to land up being. So that gives you an idea of how deep we are into the basement. So roughly, we're going to be around about 6 foot off the ground at the beach end. There's the beach, so 6 foot is roughly at the top of those walls. So the house itself will have a great view aiming out that way. But it does mean we've got a lot of work to put into the basement. So anyway, that is it pretty much for this day. And I'm sure there'll be more to be done tomorrow. Hope you like the picture, Dottie.